back your homes, or restore your dead to life.
But perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our king.
There are many stories about how the lands of the known world came to be, and one of the most important is the major event that led to the setting of a Game of Thrones. It is known as Robert's Rebellion, or the War of the Usurper. Robert's Rebellion was the year-long civil war between the great houses of Westeros that led to the death of King Aerys Targaryen II and crowning of Robert Baratheon. Let's start from the beginning. Much like Littlefinger says to Sansa in the crypts, the war started from a love affair, the love of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. While it is popular belief among citizens of the realm that Lyanna was abducted and raped by Rhaegar, the evidence is quickly stacking up that they consensually ran away together. The story goes that Rhaegar snatched her from the Riverlands when the Starks were gathering to celebrate an arranged marriage of Brandon Stark, Eddard's oldest brother, and Catelyn Tully. Sometime during Brandon's travel down to the Riverlands, he received news of Lyanna's abduction and changed his path to head to King's Landing and speak with the king. As we all know, the Starks are an honorable house that puts family first, so it was no surprise that Brandon Stark opted to demand King Aerys to have his son bring Lyanna back. Aerys the Mad King decided to throw Brandon in custody for treason and demanded ransom from Brandon's father, Rickard Stark, who served as Lord of Winterfell and Warden of the North. Once Rickard got to King's Landing, instead of settling for a ransom, Aerys Targaryen publicly and sadistically executed both Brandon and his father. The execution brought various houses together to ally against the crown. On the other side of the coin was Robert Baratheon, who was the Lord Paramount of Storm's End and also betrothed to Lyanna Stark. He was deeply infatuated with Lyanna, and you could say he was a little more than bothered that Rhaegar took her from him. Robert was also really good friends with Eddard Stark and Jon Arryn, the Warden of the East. Aerys had ordered for Eddard to be released to the King's Justice, the royal executioner, but Jon Arryn refused and took up arms against Aerys. At this point, there was an all-out war between an alliance of houses against the Targaryens. Since Brandon was dead, Eddard Stark married Catelyn Tully to forge an alliance with House Tully. Jon Arryn also married Catelyn's younger sister, Lysa, as well, combining the three houses into an alliance. Robert Baratheon obviously sided with the other allies, and he had his younger brother Stannis fight for him too. Unfortunately, the Targaryens were allies with the Tyrells, and the Tyrells kept Stannis' forces home at Storm's End, which left them stuck and starving for most of the year, only to be rescued by Davos Seaworth. After much fighting, the culmination of the war took place during the Battle of the Trident, where Rhaegar left a pregnant Lyanna in the Tower of Joy to go lead his forces against Robert's bannermen. Robert personally killed Rhaegar with his warhammer. Sometime after that, Eddard Stark took a few of his men to the Tower of Joy to go rescue his sister, where soon after she died in a pool of her own blood after giving birth to Jon Snow. Now back at King's Landing, House Lannister, whom was loyal to the Targaryens, overthrew King Aerys when Jaime Lannister stabbed the Mad King, killing him. Tywin Lannister ran his army into King's Landing, effectively sacking the city. Among Tywin's forces was Sir Gregor Clegane, or the Mountain, and this is where he raped and murdered Elia Martell, who was Rhaegar's wife, and both of their two children. Rhaella, Aerys' wife, fled to Dragonstone with her son Viserys, while she was pregnant with Daenerys. She died giving birth to Dany, and the two children were taken to Essos into exile. Stannis Baratheon eventually conquered Dragonstone and became the Lord of the island. Robert Baratheon claimed the Iron Throne, while none of the other leaders of the allied forces wanted to be king, and because he initiated the war and was the only leader that had Targaryen blood through his mother's side. He made Jon Arryn the Hand of the King and married Cersei Lannister, as kind of a thank you to House Lannister for taking over King's Landing from the Targaryen army. The other allies kept their pre-war positions after the war, and the houses Greyjoy, Tyrell, and Martell bent the knee to Robert so that they could also remain in their previous seats within the realm. 17 years after this major event is the opening setting for a Game of Thrones. Robert's Rebellion is only one major event that helped shape Westeros. Let me know your favorite era or even historical event in the Game of Thrones world. Thanks so much for watching, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.